Hey everyone, it's Priscilla from Prisca Art Henna, and today I'll be showing you all some really easy and simple practice drills you can do every single day that will improve your henna practice. Alright, let's get into the video. Hello everyone, let's get right into this henna drill practice video. So today I'm using one of my handmade cones. If you'd like to purchase your own cone, feel free to go to priscaarthenna.com. I have local pickup and shipping available. Okay, so the first drill that we're going to practice today is draping straight lines right across the page. So what you're going to do is you're going to start to push on your henna cone and hold the cone away from the paper and try to push as consistently as possible as you go across. As you can see, I have a few little empty spots. You can go right over that super easily and fill those in. So you don't want your henna cone to be touching the paper or the skin that you're drawing on. And see, I'm getting those little bumps in between because I'm going too fast, not pushing at the same pressure as I go along. So just keep practicing that. So just push your cone, go slow. Don't be like me and speed up. So go slow and drape the henna across the page. Lines are obviously really important and kind of the basis of a lot of designs. So you really want to practice that as much as you possibly can. Let's try to drape a few smaller ones, just like this. And feel free to go slow. You don't have to go super fast. The slower you go as you're practicing, honestly, the better, because muscle memory starts to kick in and you can start going faster once you get better at it. As a henna artist, I'm always improving, so sometimes taking time to go slow and really doing every little detail is super helpful. So there's some lines. All right, so next thing we're gonna practice is some humps or bumps, which is really popular in a lot of my designs, if anything. So you're gonna start off by doing a nice little draping line across your page, like so. And then you're going to try to make every single hump the same height. And as I said, feel free to go really slow. And they look just like this. And feel free to pause this video as much as you need to and stop and rewind to try to get every practice in that you can, basically. So we're gonna do humps just like that, trying to keep them all the same height. And if you have a problem getting them the same height at first, you can easily just do two lines parallel to each other as so, and then draw the humps instead of that line, so you start to remember muscle memory basically of how to do the humps the same height. And once again, going slow is the best idea when you're first starting out. So just like that. But if you're feeling brave, you just want to practice the humps straight across without the helpful line at the top, just go ahead and do that. It's honestly super relaxing to do, in my opinion, these humps. I love adding them to my designs. Sometimes I challenge myself to not have a design with the humps in it, and I mean, it still turns out good, but I still have my humps. All right, so there's those. Next thing we're gonna learn is just some basic swirls. So before we do that, I'm gonna show you guys what they call slugs. Basically, it's when you variate the pressure of your cone when you press it as you go along. So I'm doing a straight line, right? And then I slowly start pressing harder, and then I slowly release. So I slowly press harder and release. They call them slugs because they look like slugs basically. As you can see, the middle part is a little bit bigger, and feel free to even press even more and then make it smaller. The part of this is a little difficult is having the perfect pressure, light and hard on both sides, getting it symmetrical, I guess if that's a good word. So slowly press harder and then release. Press harder and release. It's really good for learning line variation. For example, you can do a thin line or press hard the whole time and then instantly have a thicker line without having to go back over it. That's something else you could also practice that's helpful. Doing a thin line and then doing a thicker line by pressing harder. You can try even pressing even harder if you wanted. Oh gosh, I'm doing that horribly. We'll just fill that in. But line variation will really help your henna designs stand out. Because having just one line, you know, thickness the whole time, your design will kind of just squish together. So you really want some thick parts, some skinny parts, some medium parts to really help what you want to pop out in the design pop out the most. All right, I have my cone off. Next thing I'm going to show you guys is the swirls using the slug design that we just did. So basically, we're going to start here. First, I'm going to show you the regular swirl, just like that, and that's without doing any kind of line variation. That's a regular swirl. Let's try it using the slugs and making the middle part a little bit thicker. So we're going to do small, push, and slowly release. Try it again over here. We're going to start the line and push it and then slowly release. So push it slowly and release slowly. You can see how it looks compared to just a regular swirl. I mean, personally, I like the slug one better because it has different line variation in it. Do it again. Slowly push and then release. You can also try doing it at different points, like having it skinny and at the top push and then slowly release it to create different looks of swirls. Honestly, do whatever you like that looks the best in your opinion, because you really want to create your own style when you do this eventually. Do push harder here and then release. So yeah. So also we're going to use the slug again, and we're going to make little leaves. So when you want to make a leaf, just start off with your line, push, and release. Line, push, release. You can do it bigger or smaller. I like it like thick, like that, when I do my leaves. You can have a longer stem or a shorter stem as well. Some people also create their leaves where they do a big circle and then small. On the other side, they go like that. And they create their leaf that way, which I think is also a really, really cool way to do it. So let's practice that a few more times. So make your line, push, and release. Let's practice some dots now, because I feel like, I always say to my customers, I feel like dots pull it all together. I love doing dots. So it helps if you want to point your henna cone straight down towards your paper, like this, and then just push. There's a dot. Point your henna cone straight down and push. You can do big dots, you can do small dots. So I would say try to do a big dot, make the second one a little bit smaller, little bit smaller, little bit smaller. Because using different size dots, I think, is really fun when you're doing designs. Do some up here. So at the end of this, we're going to pull everything that we learned together and create a beautiful henna design. All right, so there's some dot practice. As I said earlier, feel free to pause the video if you need to practice some of the designs over again. So next thing we're going to do is the middle part of the flower, a swirl. We're going to start off just practicing circles. But basically this is just going really slow, and eventually it's going to be muscle memory for you to get a perfect circle every single time. If you're not good at circles at first, that's totally okay. I was horrible at them for a long time, but you know, with practice, you get a lot of progress. You can make thick circles, skinny circles, whatever you feel like you want to do right now. I'm going to push harder on this one, make it a thicker circle. So next we're going to learn the spiral inside the circle. Now there's two ways to do it. A lot of the henna artists I looked at when I was first starting off, they created their circle like this and then did the spiral inside of it, ended with a big old juicy dot in the middle. Do that one more time for you guys. Do a circle, do the spiral inside, and make a juicy dot in the middle. Another way that I find myself doing it is starting off with the dot and then going, which I think it's probably harder now that I do it compared to the other one, and making a circle and then attaching it at the end and fixing whatever line is not perfect enough. I can't talk, perfect enough for me, so like that. You can do it either way that you think is best, but honestly, doing this side by side, doing the outside in instead of the inside out like this right here might be a little bit easier. See, I just messed up right there, but that happens. Just gonna make that thick. Let's try outside in. Yep, definitely easier. See, I'm learning while I'm trying to show you guys, so. Yep. But some also do a really, really, really pretty one where they have a big circle and the lines are so skinny inside. You get a lot more swirls. I did not make my henna cone super, super skinny today, so I can't get tiny, tiny, tiny lines. But that's okay. Similar enough to make a bigger circle. But yes, all right, so the next thing we're gonna learn is doing the bumps around the circle. So you can do an open circle or a swirly circle, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna do a swirly circle and then we're gonna do some bumps around it. Now, one way you can do it is to just start doing the bumps all the way around, trying to keep them the same distance from the circle as you can. And if you want to go slow, I'm going to go slow, trying to make it as perfect as possible. Or you can do what I do sometimes after you make your circle, swirl or not. You can do north, south, east, and west, and then just fill in between, and it helps you keep them all the same height if you do them all the same height when you're doing the north, east, south, and west way of doing it. Also, if you want, you can count how many in between to make sure it's symmetrical all the way around, but either way works perfectly fine. So once again, everything with practice. We're going to do that one more time. So I'm going to make a circle, and then I'm going to do this around it and try to keep them all the same height as I go away from the circle. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is using the leaves we used earlier to make some really, really pretty vines. Let's move this up. We're gonna start off with just a simple line like we did earlier, drape it. We're gonna do our leaves. We're gonna start from here. So this, push, let go. Vines, I feel like, are so pretty, especially on the fingers. I love putting vines on finger designs. To me, it just turns out so pretty every time. Another thing you can do is you can have two lines and then do the vine on that, like this. Creates a little bit of a different look, which I love. All the different ways. This is just real quick. There's just so many. It's like never-ending possibilities with henna designs, which is what I love. Honestly, you can use the same 3 elements over and over and over again, but make completely different designs every time. I think it's pretty awesome. But yeah. I love doing vines though, something you should definitely practice and get better at. I'm always getting better and practicing, so it's good to just keep doing that. Also, if you want, you can do a swirly one. I want to be fancy with it. Do the leaves off of that. All right, after this, I'm going to show you guys one more little element. Then we're going to create a design using a lot of these. So one more thing I want to show you guys real quick is like teardrops or whatever it is. So we're going to start off with a swirl. If you want to use your slug swirl or not, it's up to you. And sorry, put my cone real quick. And right next to it, we're going to do a teardrop type design. So we're going to start here, right next to the swirl. Then I'm going to slowly push. I can do it like that. Or I actually make that into a swirl. Just kidding, make it to a leaf. We're going to start at the top. Just kidding, guys. Start at the top. Make a dot. Slowly release like that. I'll show you guys right up here how to do it. Start a dot and then slowly release. It's kind of like doing a leaf, but without the stem. You can do it like this way. You can do it that way. You can do it whatever way you want to do it. Definitely practice doing it different ways. But it's really nice to add alongside of swirls like that, for example. Or go like that, like I said earlier, make into a leaf. So many options. So let's use some of these elements and create a design right here. I want to put a little bit closer so y'all can see it better. We're going to start off with our circle or our swirl circle, whichever one you want to do. That. Then we're going to do our bumps around it like that. And then we are going to add petals. I know I didn't show you all the petals, but it's really simple. I have a whole video about the henna flowers that I do. But actually, no, we're going to do the slugs, but we're going to do them like this. So do your slugs, so push, then push harder and release like that. So push, push harder, and release. This is a really popular petal that I love to use as well, but it's basically using the line variation I showed you guys earlier, and it's really simple to do. So like that. Then we're going to do, what should we do next? Maybe we're going to do a line around it. So use your draping technique we learned at the beginning to just drape a line around each of the petals I just did. All right, so now we're gonna do some swirls around one side. So we're gonna do slowly push harder and slowly release. We're gonna do a teardrop right next to it. So push, slowly release. Then we're gonna do a long leaf. So we're gonna do a line, push, and then slowly release. We're gonna do another teardrop right here, like that. We're gonna add some dots right here. We're gonna do big to smaller. All right. Then we're gonna go over here and we're gonna do a start from the middle swirl or from the outside, whatever you wanna do. Do some bumps around it. Do some dots on them and do big to small dots. Big, small, big. Then down here, we're gonna do some leaves like the vine we did. We're gonna start a little vine like that. And then add the leaves to it. Like that. Do 3 dots. Oop, oh, look what I just did. That's wonderful. Story of my life. Hold on, guys. Let me fix this. Disconnect it like nothing happened. Whoop. Okay. Classic Priscilla. All right, and then we're gonna go on the other side. We're gonna do another swirl. So remember, start skinny, push, and slowly release. Then do another leaf. Let's do another leaf, like that. I do some teardrops coming out, like that. Little dot right there. And do a teardrop right here. That's pretty. Gonna do another little leaf right here. Let's go on this side. We're gonna use the lines. So we're gonna do a draping line, like a half circle one, more like, yeah, kind of like a half circle. Do another circle around it, or half circle around it. We're gonna do some dots on it. I'm gonna do big to small dots around this half circle. Then we're gonna add another little viney thing here with some leaves coming out of nowhere. On this side, we're gonna do 3 more dots. So as you can see, you can use all the elements you guys just learned to create beautiful designs. Let me show you all the entire page that we all just did together. If you guys have any suggestions for any more tutorials you'd like to learn how to do, any kind of hen designs you want to learn how to do, please leave them below in the comments. I'd love to show you guys more practice drills you can practice. There's a mess up. More drills y'all can practice every day to get better at henna. All right, have an awesome day. I'll see y'all in my next video.